Hi guys, welcome to the video. I've been struggling to think of a premise for this one all week, and I've been racking my brain. It's now Monday and this video is supposed to go out in about 4 hours, but I realised actually there's something I'm quite passionate about and that I've only ever really discussed on the live stream. That is the gatekeepers of this industry that want to sort of retain the knowledge and not share it with others because they think there's not enough pieces of the pie to go around. There's not enough money to allow me and you to be successful at the same time. And this is something that I resent a little bit. It's like a famine mentality. And yes, I've been listening to Joe Rogan's podcast and I do agree with him on quite a few subjects. And this is one of them. I was talking to another chap in the industry who's actually very successful. And he made the point that, you know, the more of these, I don't like using the word, but the more of these cowboys that come along and they get started in the industry because they think it's an easy job and an easy way to make a lot of money very quickly. The more knowledge you give to those people, the quicker they're going to bring the price of the whole industry down. And due to the type of work they're producing, they're also going to bring down the standards of the industry as well. And while one of these guys is doing a massive block paved drive for 100 quid with his electric karcher, that's a job that we're now missing out on, which we'd potentially charge a lot more money for, but do a much better job. And that customer then is going to return to us next year, and we're missing out on that opportunity because the amount of people that are entering the industry and doing a poor job and trying to make as much money as possible in as little time, and they don't care about the results, they don't care about their customers, and they don't care if this customer calls them back next year. And that's not the game that I'm playing. I'm playing a very long game, and with each and every one of my customers I want to make sure that they're going to call me back next year. And that's the sort of knowledge that I'm trying to put out to all of you guys that are watching my channel for information rather than just entertainment. I'm trying to build an audience of people that actually want to do things the right way. They want to learn, and their main objective is to learn how to do a good job, and the money comes after that. And the money will come if you start your business with the understanding that things are going to get very hard at times. And it doesn't matter what industry it is. You could be a gardener, you could be a window cleaner, all of the above. My chosen field was pressure washing. And I understood there was going to be extremely hard times, and there's going to be things, because I've never been self-employed before, there's going to be challenges that I'm not sure if I'm ready for. But it's important to just not give up and just rise to those challenges, because that's what will separate you from all those other guys that start in this industry every single year and they think it's a walk in the park. Those are the people that are going to give up after a couple of months. They bring the standards and the price of the industry down, and then they sell up all their equipment because they're not getting the recommendations, they're not getting the callbacks from previous customers because they haven't done a good job. So on one hand, I understand that knowledge should come at a price, especially things like training courses. For example, I did the Pure Seal Module 1 training course where I learned how to properly clean each surface and then seal it afterwards. And it's a wealth of knowledge that I totally agree should be put behind a paywall, because it's designed for professionals, people who actually want to learn how to do things the right way. But there's, on the other side of that, there's knowledge that I think should be available on the internet for anyone who's willing to seek it out. I get a lot of questions, especially on TikTok, from people sending me messages asking me the most basic things that they could quite easily just go and Google. They essentially want me to do the work for them, and that's why I don't respond to certain comments, because if you're asking such basic questions, it means you're not willing to put in the work yourself, and you're wasting my time, and you're probably wasting your own time as well. There's another thing about certain suppliers that I've noticed in the industry that are very weird and very cliquey, and if you recommend one supplier, it means you hate the other, or and people seem to people seem to join teams. It's like a cult mentality. And all you have to do is go on the Facebook pages and see who's talking poorly about another supplier or other people in the industry. It's very hostile. And I understand it must be hard being a supplier in such a competitive industry. And again, it's like you don't want to share all the tricks of the trade, because then everyone will adopt them. And I've experienced this like recently myself with one of the videos that I put out about making your own buffer tank. I did lots of testing and found a really good high flow float valve to make your buffer tank fill up a lot quicker. I did a bit of research and I did some tests, and I posted the video. And I've had about 20 odd people in the comments and messaging me, and I've seen them on the Facebook pages. They've taken the design and they've used it for themselves, which was the intention of the video. I'd saw a massively overpriced one from one of the suppliers, and I thought there's no way that it needs to be that expensive. Let me try and make one myself and help people at the same time. I didn't even need it. I'd already got a tank set up in the van, so this was just an experiment really. And then 3 or 4 suppliers in the industry suddenly switched their fill valves or their buffer tanks to a very, very similar design to mine. And they started ordering in these float valves with no acknowledgement of my video whatsoever. And it's just much too convenient timing for it to be a coincidence. And not one of them have reached out or commented or even acknowledged my video and said, great video, thanks for the information, we're going to start supplying them, or something like that, giving me any sort of acknowledgement. In fact, one of them straight up denied that they'd watched my video. And it's just weird. Like I don't care. It did upset me at the time, but I'm happy that someone's found the video useful. They've applied it to their own business. That's what I want. I want to work with people, and I want to build relationships and share information. And what I want to try and do with my videos is to kind of set an example for the rest of the industry and just show that there is plenty of money out there. There's enough money for us all to be successful. If you look at what this country's been through over the last few years, and yet people are still paying for someone to come and clean their driveway, surely that's proof enough that we can all earn a good living from something that we're passionate about and from something that we enjoy. We don't need to keep information to ourselves. If we find something that works really well, I think we should be sharing it and lifting everyone up around us. And so I'm going to keep trying my best to provide you guys with quality content, and it's going to be much more intentional content from now on. For example, this video that I'm recording now, I was just sort of mindlessly filming without any sort of premise for the video. I don't think I'm going to do that from now on. There's lots of videos that you guys have asked for specifically for me to cover certain topics, and so I think that's what I'm going to do from now on. Lean a bit more towards that, because that's what got this channel started. The whole point in the channel was to try and share my experience and the things that I've learned in my short journey over the last 2 years of becoming self-employed, and any of those little tips and tricks that I learned along the way. And I want to share those with people because I think becoming self-employed was the best thing that has ever happened to me. I'm not being dramatic, I'm not over-exaggerating. I can't believe I didn't do this sooner. I know how horrible it is to be stuck in a mundane 9-to-5 job where you're miserable, you're working for someone you don't like or respect. You could be doing so much more with your life, and you just sort of lost all passion for work. And I think life's too short to be miserable in your job. And so the reason I created this channel was for people in that situation, which was my situation 2 years ago. I understand this one's a bit of a rant, and normally I keep the rants to the live streams, which are every Monday night at 7:30. But I just felt like I had to get it off my chest. I don't know if I've vocalized it very well either. This isn't something I've written a script for, and I do try and make my videos positive and inspiring and slightly uplifting and stuff, but it's not always easy to do that. especially in such a competitive industry, I suppose. Anyway, I'm doing my best. I hope you found this video at least entertaining enough to maybe hit the subscribe button. This video should be uploaded around about 5:30 Monday night, and then later on we'll go live to answer questions. We'll do some quotes, quotes for real customers, and just generally chat about everything that's going on in the industry. So if you want to join that, stick around, comment, like the video if you enjoyed it. Put the notification bell on as well, because then you'll see when I go live. Right, I'll leave it there. Have a good one. Thanks.